No! Come here. Oh, shit. It's the water, dude. Look at this.
Oh no.
Look at the lubricity. That's water. Oh my god. Ruby, I believe, blew a head gasket, so now she's over here. I got the charge pipe out for the hot side so I can leak at the oil pan. This is the oil. It's really bad. Like if you shake it, it's gnarly. Like you can't see, it's two colors and full of metal. But yeah, so that's the oil I have to deal with. So I'm pretty sure this motor caputo. Danny's here helping again though. So some of you all may know that in order to get the PT intake manifold off, you got to take this little plastic cover off on the second gens. But in order to get that off, you have to take the throttle cables out. Make sure your throttle poly is disconnected. There's two bolts in the back. Map sensor. I think it's map sensor. It might be mass airflow. And you take this little cover off. It has clips. 5 bolts underneath. 2 bolts in the back. Lift the manifold straight up. So I decided to start recording here just because I'll show you the 5 bolt. There's one here, one here, one here, one here, one here. And there's 2 on the back on this intake manifold bracket, which is this big metal bracket back there. There's one on this side, one on the throttle body side. So now I'll disconnect all sensors, take the bolts out, and I'll be right back. Okay, so one thing I did forget to mention, there is a brake booster hose in the back, as well as the PCV hose. There's the 2 hoses in the back there. All these 5 bolts are out, and ideally, this should just lift right out of the car. There's your intake manifold ports. There's your throttle body. Place this upside down right here for now. So next, I think I'm going to do is get this battery mount out of the way so I can get this charge pipe out of the way. So yes, there are 4 bolts. There's 4 on this side, 4 on this side. There's a transmission harness tied onto this, and they're a size 15 bolt. So these are the bolts for the battery mount. Okay, so there is a transmission connector right here that goes onto the transmission. That was on that mount. And in order for me to get the other bolts out, I just did disconnect the cooling fan harness, which is down here, wiggling it right there. So that made it easier for me to get the mount out. I'll put the bolts back in their holes, so we'll forget and lose where they go. So the next thing I'm taking out here is I'm going to be removing the fuse box. Now one thing that does worry me is this does have the hydraulic clutch, like all PTs do, so I'm going to have to figure out how to drain and bleed that when that comes apart. So, yeah. Okay, so before I get too far, there's 2 bolts here, one there, one down here, size 15s, and pretty much your fuse box is just dangling here now. So I believe I have to flip it over, get those harnesses out of there. Okay, so pretty much there's 4 clips on the outside that you pull back to release this plastic cover. And here are all the computer connectors for the fuse box. Obviously I'll leave the positive cable there, but I'm going to undo every other cable. So there's gray, blue, black, brown, gray, black. In there's a huge gray one, a little gray one, a black one, your positive cable, and a green connector. And this is for the 06 fuse box. All the connectors are out, and I did end up breaking that clip there, that clip on the other side, that clip there. I suppose I have both clips on either side, like that middle one. That one has 1 clip, that one has no clips. So I might be having to look for a new fuse box now. And this had actually broken off clips on the cover anyway, so I'll probably head to the junkyard, see if I can find another fuse box. Here are all the connectors. It's like one harness splits into 2. I'll just let that chill down there for now. I gotta say it again, put your bolts back where they come from so you don't lose them. Or put them in a plastic bag and put this plastic bag on the parts. I put all the intake manifold bolts back. I put the other mounts back. Make sure you do this, because if not, you're most likely going to lose hardware, which is not a fun one. So I'll leave this on this side for now, and I get this charge pipe out. And there's a sensor right there, and then the hose runs to the back. If you haven't done that already, and then there's a hose clamp down on the intercooler. So a little hard to get off. It was corroded to the intercooler, so you know, a little bit of fighting. She came out. This, I mean, I know I need a new pipe anyway. As you can see, she's pretty crusty. It's as hard as a rock. Like, that's hard. So, if you happen to get a new charge pipe, cold side anyway. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. From 1.12, and then that's reverse. I like to leave it on in third. So, you know, there's the linkage down there. Once again, I forgot this car's from Florida, so everything breaks on it. So this corded hose went to this little V thing. This hard hose went to this hard hose. That's farther up there now. That's a solid hard hose. And the vacuum line that was on the intake manifold goes to this one with the zip tie around it. And then these obviously go to the 3 matching. That goes to the 3 solenoids in the back. Get this harness too out of the way. This is just this throttle body harness. There's 2 throttle body sensors and stuff. Alright, so this didn't want to come out as one big piece. So this all connects to the turbo. Next through here. Alright, this hose is for the brake booster. And the other line that went to the brake booster, which is this one, just broke off. That went to that T right there. Fun. So the cruise control servo has one electrical connector on the bottom and one vacuum line up top. That vacuum line is this one that goes all the way pretty much around it, goes underneath it and then back on top. I don't know where the rest of it goes. But cruise control motor, servo, out of the way. Okay, so red goes to solenoid 1, blue goes to solenoid 3, green goes to solenoid 2, and their wire colors are all different. So this is what was run through the heat trap, heat shrink. So, you know, little hoses, all the other hoses. The big one that broke off is down in here. I'm probably gonna get these ones off because I don't know how to get these solenoids out yet, though. I don't want to have to try and take every one off. Even if I could just take each one out separately. I might have to look up a video on that one. But yeah, so that's the broken one off. And then I have to figure out how to get these out. I assume I can disconnect from right here and right there without hopefully breaking, not that, you know. So yeah, let's go for that. For the harness, I took off the solenoids, disconnected them, took off that sensor from the back, undid that hose by the big hose instead of trying to get those little ones. I cut 2 zip ties so I can get one of those hoses out, which is that emissions hose I don't feel like digging for. And then that's the emissions harness. Those go to the turbo and intake manifold. So this is going to go over here for now. The rest of the stuff. Alright, so I did eventually get this out. There's 2 bolts. There's a bracket at the bottom, and then the entire piece is one top, and it just wouldn't want to come apart earlier. So yeah, I understand it's probably stuck to it on the back side. So here's a computer. When I first got the car, I decided to unplug these just to check something. And you know, they were full of oil, and they're full of oil again, so that kind of is concerning. And these are all 10 mils, by the way. Okay, so I'm going to take this front radiator support out. Before we do that, yeah, take out this bolt, these 2 for the hood release. There's 3 on this side, 3 on that side. These are 10 mils, so that's a 10 mil. I think these are 12s. I'll get back when I get to that point. Alright, so I was somewhat right. These are all 10s. The longer ones go on the top, and there's 4 shorter ones that go on the outside. These were 13s, not 12s. But, yeah. Now this should just... yeet. And delete. There's my radiator. This is why you get this out, because you can pull this back and you got more room. Magical. Alright, so now I'm pulling the coil out. Got the one cable for the coil. 4 10 mil bolts that go all around. Here's a view under the engine for y'all that wanted to know. So this is your lower radiator hose, power steering line, and then that's your harness. Way up there, there's nothing on this side. And on this side is the air conditioning system. So there's a high pressure and low pressure on this side. See how bad my oil leak is here. Look at that. It was bad. It's bad. You know. That's your drain right here, which you can't see. Cooling fan, which just held on with 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, and 4 around. And the intercooler is tied onto the entire system, so you gotta make sure that when you pull this up, you watch out for hitting the air conditioning compressor and power steering pump. Or you can, you know, just pull your crash bar out and stuff, and it's a lot easier that way, but I don't really want to. So I'm gonna do it the more painful way. This is the supposedly called a reinforcement plate. I don't even know if I'm catching it on camera. It's this plate right in my face that's not going to focus on, where these bolts go for the cold side, hot side charge pipe. And then these are again power steering lines, and go to the power steering pump, come back down, feeds off here, goes out, high pressure line out, low pressure line back in. That's one side of the air conditioning system. And then the other side is on the higher side. So, you know, she's getting done and getting a terrible oil leak. So, yeah, shit's going on. I'm gonna find a pan, drain this. I'll do that. This is, yeah, alright. So, yeah, let's drain this up. And then disconnect this lower hose, shouldn't be too hard. Upper hose, I already have the harness undone. Power steering, and a ton of other things. I'm calling for the night. It's raining here. So, I gotta get all this stuff in. Close the engine bay up. Great. I know I look probably terrible right now, but that'll wrap up episode 1 of Ruby's Teardown Rebuild series. So, yeah, I mean, you know, blue head gasket, I'll post some videos later after this one's posted, of, you know, more things to back up my evidence that it is a head gasket. But for now, peace out, guys. It's the end of this video, and like, subscribe if you want to, and peace.